What's going on, everyone? Jake Dunlap, CEO of Skaled, and welcome to the weekly recap. This week, we're going to be talking about hiring and onboarding people. To me, it is one of the most slept on topics in sales today, is the way that we treat our people when they join our organization. And we're going to talk about what's happening in the markets today as well too. What we're seeing that is related to people management, culture, hiring, and everything else that you need to know this week. So, my friends, let's talk a little bit about hiring and onboarding. We put together an ebook that I am super proud of with our friends at Bets Recruiting, talking about what I feel like is the most forgotten component about how to actually ramp and scale a sales organization, which is like, how do you actually treat your salespeople when they join your organization, right? And I want you to just think about ramp time. We kind of have this SaaS ramp time of 3 to 4 months, but I'm telling you, if that ramp time ends up being just 1 month more and you have a $500,000 quota, you are losing almost $2,000 a day per rep. I think we need to start to really think about how can we give people the best experience when they join our organization. So I've got 3 very tactical tips taken straight from the ebooks. First, know your ideal customer. If everybody knows who they should or shouldn't be targeting, they spend more time with the right people. Second is, again, think about your onboarding process and how detailed is it? Is your onboarding process set up to have people learn through osmosis? Or is it really set up for them to learn how to uncover issues, uncover compelling events? So make sure that you have a really structured onboarding process. Number 3, it doesn't stop after onboarding. After 2 weeks, people aren't magically minted, okay? Instead, you need to think past the 2 week. What's the 6 week, the 12-week plan to have people get up to speed faster? So that is my take on hiring and onboarding. I would love to hear about your experiences at startups, getting up to speed, your onboarding plan, what worked and what didn't. Please drop your experiences in the comments below. Everyone wants to hear. All right, so in our segment, This Week in Awesome. This week I had a chance to sit down with my now newly minted 89-year-old grandfather in Cheyenne, Wyoming for 3 action-packed days. But it's so interesting to take some time away from work and really sit down with the older generation. For me, obviously I had a chance to, love and interact with my grandfather throughout. He's always a very stoic person. And I really had a chance to get to know our family history, talk to him about his experiences growing up, and you really get a sense for why they call this the greatest generation, right? That World War II generation. They had adversity. You couldn't even turn the heat on in your house. And so I think when you have that adversity when you grow up, you take that with you for forever, right? You take that hunger with you the rest of your life to go out and produce and give and do what's right for everyone else. And so, some of my takeaways were from him and just talking to him. One is, don't worry about what other people think. People, mind your own business. Do you. Don't worry about what other people think. The other big piece that I learned from him is this idea of using the past to influence, right? He reads an infinite number of biographies, kind of reenactments of different events that have happened in history. And what that does, it helps to inform where we're headed. So again, if you're reading and you're learning about the things that happened in the past, I think it's a great way to start to think about things that will repeat itself in the future. That was This Week in Awesome. Thank you, James L. Green, for an amazing 3 days. Tell us about something amazing that happened in your week. So, what is in the news this week that I think all of you should know about? The first is the IPO market. So the IPO market has been red hot, but if you look at what happened with WeWork, right, pulling their IPO, taking a look back, we're seeing investors start to shrink, right, their bullishness on a lot of these high-profile stocks, right? So according to Goldman, shares of new public companies are performing at their worst since 1995. Not good, my friends, right? Their stock prices are trading at 5% higher than their IPO prices, right? As opposed to the S&P 500, which is at 18% gains, right? And again, that's why you see companies like WeWork holding off on their IPO. So for all of you working in rapid growth startups, I would really start to think about profitability sooner than later. The market is starting to send signals that losing $2 billion a year may not actually be good for business. That's my week in the news. All right, my friends, I really appreciate my man Michael Rax dropping our very first ever hashtag AskJakeAnything. If you are out there, you have a random ass sales question, drop that little hashtag in the comments of someone else's, in your own post, and I will do my best to answer all of your questions. My man, Michael, he writes, I'm continuously posting insights, Jacob, and content outside of what our company delivers. I'm struggling for likes and comments. The content is relevant to the market. Should I be expecting the LinkedIn community to like and leave comments? Or is this an indicator my content is not resonating? Or should I not care? Well, my man, Michael Rax, thank you, by the way, for the comment. So look, a few different things. So don't repost articles, right? If you think about building an audience, people want to hear from you. So a couple of things, if you're just reposting articles, one, LinkedIn doesn't like you sharing other people's links. So always if you repost an article, put the link in the comments. Even if you do reshare an article, always have your unique insights. So if you want to know why people may not be liking, leaving comments, or engaging, what am I supposed to engage with? Nice post, as opposed to you have your own twist on it, or there's a 4-point checklist you pull out why you think number 3 is the most important. So for everyone out there posting, if you're trying to get more traction, your job is to not share a random piece of content and let the market just pick it up. Anyone can do that. Your job is to share your own unique view on that. So that is my best advice for you, Mr. Michael Rax. If you have a question for me, hashtag AskJakeAnything, and we might feature your question next week. My challenge to all of you going back to hiring is around self-awareness, right? And realizing where you may or may not be in your own journey and your own career. So if you go, I'm gonna drop the link to the ebook in the comments. So come, make sure you check that out. Team, we're gonna have that in the comments. Download the ebook. Don't worry, we're not gonna hit you up and try to sell you stuff. It's just to give it to you, right? So don't worry, just download it, okay? Second, we've got a checklist for sales top, and again, this is from Bets. We partnered with Bets on this, right? Because they help companies hire thousands of people every year, right? So we've got a checklist of the top characteristics for sales professionals. I want you to go and check that out. Next, I want you to ask your boss, right, which qualities you excel in and which ones you can use a little bit of coaching in. And then finally, identify one way out of all of those that you can improve going into 2020. We put this together for a reason. It's for actionable insights. And I can tell you the people that win in their career are the people that take their own career, they take their own responsibility for their career, and we just gave you the checklist to do it. So my friends, that is my challenge to you in this week's Get It Done. That is the weekly recap. I'm out.